What's up everyone, Chewburger84 here from Alternate Reality, and today we're going to be running through my DD3 first 4 node team, as well as the 3 attempts. Now I'm going to run through why I chose the characters that I did. You shouldn't choose the same characters as me, but I'm going to talk to you about the method of my madness. So stay here right now to go through the team, and then I'll be running through the 3 attempts that it took me to down the first node, and you'll be able to see why I made the choices that I did. So first of all, the thing I did, because it is important across all game modes to maintain as much progression as you possibly can with what you have, my first 2 T14 characters were my Black Bolt and my Hela. Now I know most of you guys don't have those characters, so you're not going to be using them in this game mode as yet, and I completely understand that. I'm not recommending them to you for these 4 nodes. But to me, the reality is these characters are going to give you the best bang for buck in Arena, in Blitz, in Raid, and also DD3. Remember, DD3 is a one-time event. For me, all these resources are so precious that I don't want to squander any of them. Now, my Black Bolt, not only being 6 reds, but also he has absolutely everything I can possibly max on him at this point. Just waiting on that 7th star. Hopefully, if we can get some Asgardians on farm somewhere in the near future. Then, of course, Hela, exactly the same. Now, I don't necessarily recommend all of these abilities. I think on her, they all definitely have a benefit, though. But if you have above 5 red stars, I would definitely do the basic, which is kind of the wild card. But it does do a phenomenal amount of damage because it is a double tap. Now, Phoenix is one that I went back and forth on because the reality is you are going to only get 1 node out of her or 1 attempt out of her per day, and then obviously she's going to disappear into the nether. Now, she's not really that useful right now in raids. That's one of the reasons why initially I was thinking about not taking her and maybe saving up for Mr. Sinister instead. However, because she is still very effective in almost every other game mode, I ended up biting the bullet and taking her in, and have absolutely no regrets so far for the purposes of DD3. Next character on the list. Now, this one is one that a lot of people probably wouldn't pick, and to be honest, I don't necessarily blame you. A lot of people are going to go for Ultron straight out of the gate as their global tech character. Now, for me, he's such an expense, and I've already made such an expense with some of the other meta characters that I have who are definitely going to take me right through to the end of this game mode. I wanted to try and get someone who is a bit more budget, but still ridiculously effective. And she is on my Ultima 7 raid team right now, and she is an absolute rock star. I only really need to have her field tries maxed out with her T4s at the moment to get her to do everything that I need her to do. If I was using her in a modified aim team in here for some reason, I would obviously do a few more of these T4s as well. Now, with this character, it's a gamble, all right? So sometimes I'll call this team the gamble team because the reality is it is a gamble doing this the way it is. Even though she's a lot cheaper to bring up than Ultron, she does bring an element of RNG because she is going to put defense down and offense down on your characters for a turn, and that's where you may have to do a few extra attempts to make sure that you don't get wiped out by some opening AoEs, like the Cyclops is in Node 1, for example. Now, Nick Fury, I've been pretty lucky with skill gear. So because skill gear is the one that I have pulled the most so far, I decided to max out an expensive character here as well. He's going to bring defense up to the party. He's going to bring an opening speed up as well and give that to everyone else on the team if we manage our cooldowns correctly. And that means we're going to have the best opportunity to start rolling out right out of the gate. Now for him, I only really did these 2 abilities that was left over from the shield team. I think for the most part, you can do most of what Nick Fury needs to do with absolutely no T4s if you wanted to. Obviously, if you're rolling in T4s, there's no reason why you couldn't do all of these. If you are taking in Ultron and Nick Fury though, then generally you don't want to necessarily do the reinforcements because it's going to give you a guaranteed more agents, and that can do a little bit of blocking when it comes to the Ultron minions coming in. So that's the team of 5 that I'm using for the first 4 nodes right now. So we're looking at Nick Fury, Black Bolt, Hela, Phoenix, all wonderfully meta characters. And then Scientist Supreme, who's very much rocketing into that meta space for raids and longer term events. And I'm hoping that the cheaper investment in her as my global tech character choice number 1 is going to pay off in the long run. All right, let's show you some attempts and see how this team goes. Alrighty, Dark Dimension 3, attempt number 1. Now this team is definitely what we would call a gamble. So we have no heals at this stage. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough gear left over to be able to bring up any healers. It was always going to kind of be the way of just taking characters I was using in Ultima 7 up first anyway. And obviously Phoenix for Arena and Alliance War as well. But yeah, the Scientist Supreme, I think she's probably going to be more liability than good most of the time. But it just depends on how the RNG treats us. I think we want the Falcon to die the first, purely because if he's still around turn 2, they're just going to get so much turn meter on their second turn that it's crazy. Now, this is the gambling point, okay? This is basically what it all comes down to. This dice roll, how many defense downs did we get on our team? We got 2 against us. That's not great. But now they've got their Hela in play, so there's a very good chance that she's about to spread that to the entire team. No defense downs at least, but those bleeds are going to be bad. All right, we only got 1 bleed on Scientist Supreme, but Scientist Supreme is the one character right now that we need to live. All right, so if they keep nuking our Greg, that'd be great, but I don't think we're going to be that lucky. All right, there's still a couple of AoEs that they've got up their sleeve, so we're still very much in what we would call the danger zone. All right, I don't think we're going to get much of a better opening rotation than this. We're going to be able to take out the Falcon. Well, I mean, maybe. How much damage will he take? We do get to take out the Falcon, so that's going to cost their turn meter a little bit. I think let's give him 2 extra targets to splash out on. We do kind of want to get Fury. Okay, now this is an opportunity for us. If we can get that offense down to their whole squad as well as defense down, and that's a 2-turn defense down as well, that could be good. Groot is probably going to cleanse most of it off though, so that kind of sucks for us. But let's see what we can get done. I think he's going to cleanse before we go. Yeah, so that kind of sucks. The good news is we do have this. They're going to evade on 1 Cyclops. We do get to do our big boom here, so that's something, I guess. All right, Black Bolt takes out 1, Black Bolt takes out 2, and 3. All right. So, I mean, I think we could have had a worse opening round here. Anything else we get from here is going to be a bonus, but I dare say we're going to start falling to pieces from about now. That was really lucky that they hit Greg a lot of times here. This Cyclops is going gangbusters. This is, of course, always going to be a pain in the dick. Now, this is not bad, but not great. Having this AoE with offense up is fantastic, except for the fact that 4 of our key players here have evade. Oh, man. Do I use this now? I mean, I'm not going to get another turn, but it's like, do I save that for a better opening round tomorrow and I get to take out both of these Cyclopses? I actually do think it's the smarter play to not use that now, because all I'm going to get is Groot's going to die and D up these ace holes anyway. So I think we just do this. It feels like such a waste because he had the offense up. And that Scientist Supreme is not going to have any of her cooldowns tomorrow. Neither is Fury. But as long as Black Bolt gets 1 turn, we're probably looking at a couple of dead jerks, which is the main thing for now, I suppose. Because there's no point using it now, even if he had have lived. That's not the worst opening round we could have had, especially having that gamble with Scientist Supreme. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how we go tomorrow. We won't have the speed advantage. Oh, could you imagine if they keep just hitting Greg? Oh, man. I thought we were going to get lucky there for a second, but not the case. So, look, killing 2 guys doesn't seem like a big deal, but the amount of setup that we have on the board right now is definitely not the worst thing. That Psylocke played much more of a role than I thought that she would. Like, getting those guys with that many evades right out of the gate is actually really painful for me. That group being able to cleanse, I mean, there was so much death potential. It's definitely going to be a little bit of a burst and grind with this team. So this will be a video series we'll go through one by one, day by day, and we'll show you how we go. So cheers for watching this part. Let's go on to the next attempt. All right, folks, Dark Dimension 3, node number 1, day number 2. Let's see how our little Scientist Supreme performs today. She's going to be off cooldown. Fury's going to be off cooldown, so that means the opening round is going to be quite risky. We do have the Black Bolt up, which is pretty good. If he goes with his AoE, we should get very close to killing at least 2 or 3 members of this team. Let's see how it pans out. The Ghost Rider's at pretty full health. I mean, obviously, we'd love to drop him a little bit more if we could. That's a pretty charged Cyclops as well, so I think we're going to take a few hits against him. Let's have Psylocke kill our Greg for us. That reduces their turn meter by 10%. And then let's have them go to town on Phoenix. All right, defense down, certainly going to do it. Let's chip away a little bit here at the Ghost Rider. Flicks out to the Colossus.
If we do kill someone here, let's give him offense down. That way, if he does retaliate on us, we get a little bit less damage. So we're going to get out the Cyclops, just the one Cyclops. That may not be a bad thing. I mean, if we save a wave and Scientist Supreme doesn't die now because of that taunt, okay. Obviously, having Phoenix do that is a good thing, but yeah, that's going to hurt a little bit. I actually don't want to kill this Groot just yet, because if I do... Yeah, the taunt's up on Scientist Supreme, so let's just flick out some damage there. Hopefully we last one more turn. Let's put this on Ghost Rider for now. Alright, what have we got coming up off cooldown? Let's make sure that we don't get a taunt out of Colossus here. Alright... Now, Black Bolt killing that is a very, very, very bad thing. Let's just keep plugging through, though, and see how we go. She might have her cooldowns up for tomorrow, which is not a bad thing at all. And then we're back just onto the node of death, ladies and gents. So this is probably going to be a case of just making the Cyclopses blow everything that they have. And all the other characters that have got AoE right now as well. It should mean that tomorrow we can start off with Fury. Yeah, I'm not going to use that now because I think it's going to be a waste. I think we're just going to run through the cooldowns here. Let's chip away at... I mean, it's all death here, let's face it. Let's chip away a little bit at this Ghost Rider. Loki's going to AoE stealth everyone in a sec anyway. So let's just chip away a little bit at some of these characters, and then we'll get out of here. Alright, nice full health for Phoenix. That's not going to last very long, let's face it. Gotta love Hela with that disrupt on that Loki, though. Exposing him out like that gives us the opportunity to now go in with the big burst and drop him down. Probably should have used it on the Falcon in retrospect, just because Falcon's going to be able to give them a lot of turn meter. Ideally, we would have loved to have used that today, because now he's going to be able to use it on the opening round tomorrow. So he's probably going to be priority target 1 on our day 3. But we have cooldowns on 2 out of our 3 big characters, so that's definitely something that's going to work in our favor. And they've obviously dropped a couple of ults as well. So we're sitting in an okay situation. I know it probably doesn't seem like we're making much progress, but to be honest, I'm pretty happy with the way this is set up for the next few days. All right, we'll see you again tomorrow.
All right, day 3, folks. Unfortunately, I don't have my camera up today. I've got my in-laws with us at the moment. Let me just see what we can do on this day. I know we've got a lot of things off cooldown, which is not great. But let's see how this goes. It'd be awesome if we can finish this today with this team. I mean, if we could do it in 3 attempts with a no Ultron, I'd be pretty happy. But I have a feeling with no healer, that might be a little bit of a pipe dream. But let us see what will happen. Oh my god. That's right, they have a Falcon who's about to do the turn meter. Oh god, it's so bad. Alright, we got the defense up. Oh, I lied, that's right. Today was the day that we did have cooldowns up. I remember now. Part of me wants to sort of try and heal block here, but, I mean, there's no real point. Alright, let's see what happens here. Now, they're going to get a butt ton of turn meter right now. Oh god, here we go. Resisted all the stealths, which is nice. This could pan out okay. If the last guy is the one that... Oh, that ult. I thought he used that yesterday. It must have only been one of them. Unfortunate. Oh, now we have the big boys getting out there in the form of the Colossi. Alright, so let's do one facey punchy over here. About the level of damage we expected there, especially with an offense down. Alright, so let's try again. This should flip it this time, so it should do a lot more damage. It sure does. Oh, it sure does. But we do face the wrath of that Ghost Rider, which we probably should try and strike down. Let's bring out the minions here for a little bit of fodder. Try and get them to kill them as well as Jeff. Alright, here we go. The big bomb. Skadoosh. How many fall down with Black Bolt? 1 goes down, 2 goes down. How much of a price do we pay with the Ghost Rider? Not as much on Black Bolt as I thought it might have been. That's not too bad. Let's start flipping some things here. We're definitely about to lose Phoenix in a sec. The good news is we have Hela being able to do this, though. Oh, daddy. Oh, daddy. All right, this is going to go bad on the repercussions, though. No, not so bad, actually. And we actually do have Operative coming in handy. That's a sentence I have not had to utter in quite some time. Ladies and gentlemen, where did this come from? I actually don't want this guy to die too quickly, but Black Bolt's going to make that a necessity, unfortunately. It would have been great to wind some cooldowns back up. But I'll take that. I mean, 1 node in 3 days with, yep, there are 3 real rock stars on this team. Fury definitely pads it out nicely, but that Scientist Supreme, I was really worried that trying to cheapskate my way through this first node was going to be a bit of a bummer. But look, it worked. So far, so good. It's definitely going to be a bit of a chip away squad. This next node with 5 Captain Marvels is, I think, going to test me. So look, I hope you guys are having some fun if you're on your way to Dark Dimension or if you're already in it. It might be a little while before we get back to the next one, but let's see how we go in Node 2 in a few days. Cheers.